lovers, it is GSwiz here, and I'm here today to talk about some book cover changes that I am so relieved happened. If you guys didn't know, this is a 7 on Sunday, and I am the host of 7 on Sunday. I will link the Goodreads page down in the description where you can check it out and you can participate in a 7 on Sunday topic in the future. If you guys didn't know, I'm filming these back to back, so that's why you can't see my arms for like the second 7 on Sunday in a row. I'm doing that because the weekend that this is going up, I'm really busy. And this week's 7 on Sunday, as I mentioned, book cover changes that I actually love. You know, it's kind of unpopular opinion for a lot of people, but sometimes book cover changes can be good. Like, even though some people were collecting some books in different covers and then they hate the edition being changed, that sucks for them. But sometimes if it's a glow up, it makes sense. I don't mind it. I guess without further ado, I'm gonna get started into talking about some book cover changes that I am for and I'm not against. And the first one I'm gonna be talking about is a pretty unpopular opinion. The Wrath and the Dawn. So, first of all, I'm Arabic myself, and looking at this book cover, I want to feel like it represents my culture. It does an okay job, but like, to me, it was pretty bland. I mean, I loved the concept of opening up the book. I think it was on the first page and then having that picture of that person posing behind that wall with holes in it, but like, it wasn't really special to me. It wasn't as pretty as what everybody was saying it was. And then new covers came out, or at least the ones that were being published in Australia and in the UK came out, and I fell in love. I had no interest in actually picking up The Wrath and the Dawn, to be honest, because I wasn't really excited about the romantic plot that everybody was talking about. And it's funny because I actually was a lot more interested in 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnston at the time, because I heard about that one first. I was kind of like more excited about that one and not really excited about The Wrath and the Dawn, but funnily enough, I read The Wrath and the Dawn before I even had a chance to read 1,000 Nights. This book cover is beautiful, and I feel like I'm actually seeing Arabic representation on my cover, and I like that. I mean, I know you had Shahrazad technically on the other cover, kind of, but she was behind a wall. It kind of felt really dull to me. Whereas this, you have a person on the cover and it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty cool and pretty fancy as well, and beautiful at the same time. Sometimes I don't like people on my covers because sometimes they look like they've obviously done a photo shoot and it's not really looking that good. Whereas this one kind of feels a little bit more organic. It kind of feels a lot more Arabic. Speaking of Renee Ahdieh, Flame in the Mist. I know a lot of people who liked the original cover. I mean, I get it. It's a phoenix and stuff and it looks really cool, but I hate the font and it just kind of looks a little bit boring to me. Like, it's in a black background and then you've got like things. It's okay. I don't actually hate the cover. I just think that it's okay. It blends in. It doesn't really stand out to me. I know a lot of people who disagree with this opinion. I respect those who like this cover, but I don't really. And then I like the new cover, which is kind of in the similar format of The Wrath and the Dawn, where you actually have our protagonist on the book, and it looks very beautiful. I don't know exactly what I love about it. Maybe it's the colors, maybe it's the flowers, just everything about it. And to be honest, I wasn't actually a big fan of Flame in the Mist, the book, but for some reason, these new covers make me want to pick up the series again. That's what I like about the revamp. Cool if you don't agree, that's my opinion. I love these new book covers. And then we are going to be talking about the Iron Fae series. Now, I've talked about this on my channel. There are some people who do find comfort in these covers, and I get it, but I've never been a fan of them. With these covers, it kind of looked like they're all coming in for different photo shoots, and it kind of reminds me of Bloodlines in a way. Even though it's just a tad better than the Bloodlines covers, it still looks kind of like cheesy. It's not giving me fantasy vibes, it's more giving me like paranormal vibes, which it might have. I think it's more paranormal, but it kind of is meant to be a fantasy in a way as well. Whereas the new covers, even though they're typography, they give me fantasy vibes. And for some reason, they're kind of giving me a little bit of the new Holy Black cover vibes, in my personal opinion. And I love that. I really love the organic leaves and swords. I love the new designs of the series, and it's really inclined me to pick the series up. But I'm also hoping that if I do end up reading the spin-off series one day, that the spin-off series will follow in the same pattern, because these covers are just so beautiful and I can't resist them. And if I want to read the spin-off series, I'll probably have to listen to them on audiobook before I could really decide to buy them in physical copy if they don't match the new covers. This was definitely a glow up, and this suits the fantasy books of today. Now I'm gonna mention an unpopular opinion. Here we go. I prefer the new Ember in the Ashes series to the old covers for the Ember in the Ashes series. You know why? Because the old ones, in my opinion, they didn't have any charisma that the story kind of did have, even though I don't really remember an Ember in the Ashes because I wasn't actually a big fan of the story, to be honest. But if there is anything that's gonna motivate me to pick up the series again, it's the new covers. I love the new covers, not because we have the characters on the covers, because if I'm gonna be honest, the pictures are a little bit cheesy. They do look like they've done a photo shoot. And I kind of wish the characters on the covers were illustrated. But I love the color scheme, and I love the color scheme with the scenes. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of how characters are posing, I really love the color scheme, and I love the scenery a part of the color scheme. They're not perfect covers, but I prefer them to the original covers because the original covers didn't draw me in. The only thing that was motivating me to pick up the Ember and the Ashes series before was because everybody was talking about it. But like, I didn't really like the covers. I know I might not have good taste in graphic design because I didn't like the Ember and the Ashes original covers, and I like the new ones. But as I said, the reason why I like the new covers a little bit more, even though they are not perfect, is because the other covers kind of don't really capture too much of the heart of the story. Alright, now I'm going to be talking about a popular opinion. Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. Very popular opinion. Everybody did not like the original cover, and then when the new cover came out, it was definitely a glow up. I love the new cover of Shatter Me. So beautiful. I love all the covers together, even though the last few Shatter Me books were just okay. They weren't really great in design. Still, the concept is really cool, and I love how through a picture of an eye, you can see how much development the character actually goes through, because that's kind of the purpose of why the eyes are the way they are, because they kind of develop in different seasons. I thought of another one on top of my final one, so I'm gonna go 2 more this time. So I'm gonna be talking about the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Now, I did like the symbolism of the original covers, but the new covers bring so much dimension to the actual characters that we are following. I know that a lot of my preferences for some reason have been people on covers, but when you do it right, when you really do it right, when they are illustrated people on covers are my favorite. I know people like symbols sometimes. I think symbols work with certain stories, like The Hunger Games and Divergent. I think symbols and emblems for those particular series work because they're dystopians and they kind of play a big part in the story. And I know that they kind of do as well for the Lunar Chronicles, but I love these covers even more because I didn't get to know the characters through these covers. I can see the characters and all of their charisma through these covers, and I love that even better. These covers are so colorful and so vivid. If there's something that I can say about one of my favorite series of all time, this is a glow up. It is beautiful. And the final book series glow up that I gotta talk about today is a very unpopular opinion with some of the people in the Seven Realms fandom. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna be talking about the Shattered Realms series cover change. I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this because I binge read the rest of the Seven Realms series the week that I'm filming this. I love the Seven Realms series, but I hate the covers. The reason why I hate the covers is because it has an element of the story, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of like The Hunger Games and Divergent, where they're trying to pick a symbol in the book, and it's not making me connect to the characters. Even though I felt connected to the characters while reading the story, it doesn't tell me anything about the characters or even what the story is really about unless you start reading it. And then they took the same approach with the first book in the Shattered Realms series, Flamecast. And all I was thinking when that book was published was just, oh, okay, you know, it's just one of those other fantasy books that I really just don't care about. And what really intrigued me, and the reason why I think the cover change is important, is because it draws in people who were not interested in these books at first, but are interested in book series like Throne of Glass and books with other female characters on the covers, or fantasy characters on the covers for that matter. That's usually the young adult audience. So when I was younger, like a few years back, like I think in 2016, 2017, and this new cover for Flamecaster came out, I immediately was like, shut up and take my money. And to people who have read Seven Realms and don't want it to be compared to Throne of Glass, because I know now it is nothing like Throne of Glass, it draws that audience in, and it most definitely drew me in. But this being said, that's not an insult to the cover. The cover is actually very well illustrated. It shows us a character that we're gonna be following. And I haven't even read the Shattered Realms series yet. I've just finished Seven Realms, and I know which characters we're following now, and I'm really excited about the series, and I can't wait to start it. But yeah, I can't be mad about this cover change. Like, I love it. It looks so beautiful. And I understand completely why the people who loved Seven Realms are bitter about the cover change. But personally, I prefer the cover change. And you know what? I'll straight out admit it. I read Seven Realms because I was intrigued by this cover, and I wanted to know what's the deal with the Shattered Realms series. But I read Seven Realms, I ended up enjoying it, and now I'm very much looking forward to the Shattered Realms series. So yeah, there are book covers in the Seven Realms series that I just don't really like. I really just don't like them, to be honest, because they're just kind of a little little bit bland to me. Yeah, that's pretty unpopular opinion because, you know, that means that a lot of fantasy covers are kind of bland to me. And that's true, they kind of are. Even though I like fantasy, there are a lot of fantasy covers that are kind of bland to me. Whereas this cover is just so beautiful. There must have been so much effort being put into the illustration. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already joined the amazing community of book lovers. I also have social medias, if you didn't know. I'm at itsgswizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.